Hello. Well, I just thought, sorry, I'm a bit late because I decided that a cup of tea was necessary. Oh, why is that wonky? So I just want to try out the live stream feature. So I'm not expecting actually anybody to turn up, but I do have a couple of questions that people have asked me, so we'll go over them. I just want to see, really. Oh, on my mouse. Stop saying I would like to see what actually, if I can look at the questions on screen at the same time. I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh. So can I put, it does say somewhere I can put a Q&A. Put all messages visible. Oh, sorry, I'm sure this is really interesting. Don't want to report myself. Yeah, I can't work out how to put the question and answers on. Start a Q&A or a poll. Well, how do I do that? Live chat. So, oh, is there actually someone watching? Hello, anybody who's watching? Sorry, you have to bear with because I'm just trying to work out how you add a Q&A, which it tells me you can. If anybody wants to look it up. Right, so I am going to actually start making dragons. Hopefully you can get, I'm trying to get a good angle for it. Is that any good? Right, drink your tea, Nicky. That is wonky. This is better. Start a Q&A. Okay, let's try and get the best angle for it. So we've got these shelf dragons. I started them yesterday. I've done the bulk of them. What's better lighting? I don't know how bad the lighting is. I probably need some sort of fancy ring light, don't I? Right, so yeah, we've got the dragoniness. And this one's got eyes. So I just wanted to see how it worked. So I thought, well, while I'm making these, we can get on. But I don't know whether this angle is better or not. A bit of both. Okay. So, firstly, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to make some little feetses. So I'm warming up the clay and conditioning it in my hands because that's what you need to do, because when you get it, I'm using Fimo today. It is like, it can be absolutely rock solid. Look, I can't squish that at all. So I've conditioned this already, but I did it yesterday. So I'm going to condition it a little bit more and warm it up again, because otherwise it just breaks. Like if I try and take something off that, it just breaks really horribly. Whereas if I take this bit here, I can break that up. It's fine. I can squish it back together. Yeah, conditioning is key. So yeah, I need to, do you think, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. If anybody knows if I need to get a light ring or something like that, because actually on my workbench, it looks really bright and clear, but I'm looking at it on the screen and it doesn't look that bright. And I probably need to tidy up my workspace, make it look prettier, maybe make myself another board, because this is absolutely knackered, but you know, it's live, it's what I do. Right, I think I have somewhat over-conditioned this. Problem is with clay, when it gets too warm, it just goes floppy, floppy, flop. It's really miserable here today. So I'm going to go with a dragon with 4 toes. My trusty tool. This is one of my favourite tools. I prefer metal tools. That, which is in fact a knitting needle, is probably the one I use most. And this blade to cut it. Oh, we put him up there for now. So yeah, this is just like a leather, awl, is that how you say it? For punching holes in leather. Just a cheapo thing. But you can use anything. Really, the one thing with polymer clay is you can buy all sorts of fancy tools for the job. But actually, the things that are probably the best are things that you just have lying around the house. Right. Probably not the best clay to do it in black. It doesn't really show very well, does it? I'm going to make some little indents for nails. Can you hear that rain? It is like hammering down, absolutely hammering down. Oh, I'm like a hairdresser, aren't I? The weather being nice. No offense to hairdressers. You say that, I don't think a hairdresser's ever asked me if I'm going on holiday, or you know, has the weather been nice? What's the weather like by you? And hairdressers don't speak like that. Why is it we say that hairdressers go, oh, you done anything nice? I suppose it's just that small talk thing, isn't it? But in all honesty, in a hairdresser's, and I think a lot of hairdressers get this, I just like, not that I go to the hairdressers very often, but I kind of like that couple of hours, because that's how long my hair takes, of not interacting and being able to just have sort of quiet time. It's very nice. Oh, it's so dark in here today. I have tried to put lights on. Well, I have tried to put lights on. I have actually put lights on. I'm just trying to see what would make. Was that any better? Oh, that's a bit better. Oh, I think my internet might be having a bit of a wobbly too, because we've got Starlink and it just is absolutely brilliant, but it does suffer a bit when it's usually in in storms and everything. It's been fine, but I think today and then the past couple of days it's just been relentless rain, and I think the thing's just struggling to actually see the satellites. Oh, so I'm going to put little toes on. And make toenails. I'm gonna make I think dragons have kind of a bit like dog feet, so they have quite a long foot. Oh, my clay is really warm. 1 foot. I think the internet just threw things out then. I'm in here with my dog, Loki. He's looking at me like he hates the rain. He absolutely hates the rain. He's our rain warning siren because he doesn't like the sound of it on the roof. So when he runs downstairs, because we live in an upside down house, then we know it started raining. Or there's a bee. He doesn't like bees either. or anything buzzy really. But you can't blame him for that because he got stung when he was a little pup and had to go to the vets because he swelled up like a swelly thing. Keep realizing I'm doing this because I'm bringing it closer to myself. So I'll move that a bit. Right, let's attach the feetses. So the reason I've left it chunky there is so we can give him a bit of muscle. And I want him to be like that on the shelf. So this is where my trusty knitting needle goes. There's loads of different ways to do this. I just like using a knitting needle. A lot of people do. A lot of people just use their fingers, but my fingers aren't this small, so you couldn't get it as smooth as you wanted. I tend to use this and then smooth it out some more with my fingers. But like I say, you will find if you start doing stuff with polymer clay, you will find that your main tool is your fingers, and the oh, I'm umming a lot today, aren't I? But things that you find will probably be the tools that you want to use. Don't get stuck in that. Oh, you see, I did it. I've done it. You go, oh, I look at that polymer clay tool. Oh, that looks really good. If I want to do that, I must need this. And you don't. You don't at all. I have various things I've bought in the past, and they just don't work. Well, I would say they don't work. They work, but they don't work how I wanted them to. I've got you know, a clay extruder, which makes like what they called, like strings of clay and stuff, so you can do hair and stuff. I've used it about twice, and I've had it about 10 years. So I've got to think now of how I want him to, I think it's a him. I don't know. All my dragons are a little bit sort of not gender specific, really. One of the biggest hurdles in polymer clay, using polymer clay, is not squishing this bit where you're doing that bit, etc. And it's still, I still do it now. It's really difficult because you get so sort of embroiled and maybe doing like a bit here and this, that, and the other, and you're holding this bit, doing this, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've squashed the other bit. Let's start again. I can tell you now, the first proper figure I made, oh, that was many years ago, 15, 16, oh, longer than that ago. I say the first proper figure because I used to make like bits and pieces. I was determined to teach myself how to do it, and I made a little goblin about that big, and there wasn't a lot of detail to it, and it took me nearly 2 full days to make because I kept squishing bits as I was doing other bits, and it kept one bit as you really wanted it, trying to smooth out the clay. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted, but you can do so much with it once you get the hang of it. And it can be useful for other things too. I mean, if you want to do push molds, you can buy all sorts of molds that you just kind of, I don't think I've got any here, but you just kind of get a wodge of polymer clay and push it into the mold and pull it out, and you can make little earrings and things like that, or you can make them by hand. I mean, you know, obviously you'd want a bit more polish than that, but there's, you know, there's all sorts you can do. For kids, it's absolutely great. Anyway, so I was just chatting away there whilst I was having a cup of tea. So oh, you can probably hear me drinking that tea. Sorry, guys. Oh, can I make the light better? Any better? Not sure it is. No filter. What about that one? Oh, well, that looks brighter. That looks brighter. Oh, I need to get myself properly set up, don't I? So we now, anyway, have a dragon with feetses. And I'm going to do his back legs. I'll warm this clay up a bit. Polymer clay, all about sausages of clay. Right, back leg. So I kind of, what do I want it to be? About that. One. Match up. Kind of, yeah. I'll tidy them up a bit more. Little. Right. How floppy is that clay? Flip, flip. So I guess the question is as well, because I sat here talking to myself, if I am going to do live streams and I can get the lighting better, what is the best time to do them? Because obviously anything, I mean, I know people don't necessarily work 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, but I think that's what the majority of people do. So am I better off doing a live stream in the evening? Do people even want live streams? The weekends, I could do a few, but I'm really trying to keep the weekends for doing non-Goblin Dreams stuff for my own mental health, because at one point I was working like 7 days a week. Right. So yeah, if anybody actually does watch this back, I don't blame you if you don't, because it's a bit all over the place. But let me know when you would like live screams. Live screams. I shall give you live screams, live streams, if you want them at all. Say my ultimate goal, but I would need a lot more subscribers. I would really like to have a little community on here where you could be like a member of the channel and what have you, and we could have live streams, and maybe I could, I don't know, things coming off the top of my head, you know, I could do a live stream making something and we could have a, you know, one of the channel members wins it or something. I don't know. I think that's a long way off. I think to have a channel membership you need to have like 500 subscribers and how much watch time. And I don't know how quickly it sort of adds up. I mean, I've been getting quite a lot of views on the new videos I've put up. Because I can tell you now, I looked at it the other day. Oh, sorry guys, it keeps disconnecting. Yeah, my first video I put up, I think, was in 2015, something ridiculous. Let me see if I can get it up. Your Torb. Look at my channel. Oh God, I saw it on a timeline the other day. But it was basically I'd put something up like, I don't know, at least 6 years ago. And I was going to use YouTube and I was going to do all this. And then I don't know. My internet connection's always been awful until I got Starlink, but I've chosen like the worst day to do a live stream today because the rain is affecting it. But there, I was like, I think it was last April or May, I put up a thing going, right, we've actually got Starlink now. I've got decent internet. I can do YouTube now. Because what was happening was I'd make like a 5-minute video and it'd take like a day to upload it because we just had no upload at all on our internet. So, so then after that, I think I'd only put about 8 videos on or something. And then after that, since from like April, May last year until a couple of weeks ago, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And then I was terrified of doing it and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I think it was the Comic Con thing. I was just like, no, I'm just going to go and do this. And weirdly, I don't know, is it weirdly? I actually find it quite therapeutic talking at no one. So I'm kind of getting used to it. And once I decided to get over myself and not be bothered about what I look like and what I sound like, I just thought, well, why not? Why not? So I'm just adding a bit more detail into the footsies. With clay, a lot of the time it's knowing when to stop, because this clay, like 5 minutes ago, was very, very soft and was going to be ridiculous. Whereas now it's hardened back up a bit. So top tip for polymer clayers: if it starts getting floppy and sloppy, just stop. Stop. And then come back to it 5 minutes later. I mean, in the heat of the summer, you work next to a fridge and just keep putting it in the fridge. It is a nightmare. If it is really, really warm, it's you've probably seen me say it. But I've seen other artists as well go, you just can't do it. It's absolutely impossible. Everything you do just goes flop, flop, squish, squish, and you end up with a blob. But there are so many different ways of doing stuff with polymer clay. It's the same with everything, though. Don't take something that someone says as gospel. Do your own research. Try it out yourself, and do what works for you. I mean, you might find that amazing, expensive polymer clay tools work for you better than homemade things and fingers, but I do not. And I'm not an expert. God, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still learning, and that's one of the things that I want. And now I'm not doing Comic Cons. I really want to focus more on, if I see a new technique or a technique I haven't used before, going for it and having a go, because I do have a little thing. It's not a rule, but what I try and do is learn at least one new skill a year. Some stick, some don't. It's like, I did last year. One of the things that I learned, because I did do a few new things, was bookbinding, and I absolutely loved it. But it is quite time consuming. So, and obviously, to get the materials that I need to buy in some materials to do some books from scratch. And I just I didn't have the time, or really could justify the funds to set it up properly. But what I do want to do is make some really big books, like mega big. So at some point I will put it into practice. So it was a useful skill, but there's other stuff I've done, like crochet. I taught myself how to crochet, and I just don't get it. I can't end up. I really admire people who do it, because everything I've made, I'm like, I've read all the instructions. I kind of get what they're saying, but I'm like, why am I still ending up with like more stitches than I should have? I think so. Any of you guys who do crochet, then well done you. Right. So he has feet, says, arms and legs. Oh, fingerprints. Fingerprints are us. What else do we need? We need some ears. What style ears shall I do? I ought to hurry this up a bit, really. I've been going for 40 minutes. I think we're going to go with these type of ears. Triangular ears. Oh, I'm really tack-handed today. Make sure they're the same size. And we shall make some holes. And decide how we want the ears to go. Ears make a huge difference to the sort of personality. Because if you have, like, you know, sticky up ears, it tends to be, you know, more sort of alert and happy and, ooh, what's going on? Well, if you've got a dog or if a cat, really, look at how their ears go. Horse, anything. Makes a huge difference. Right. And I'm going to give him some... Well, I'm going to put marks for nostrils because I'm not sure how I'm going to do them yet. Anyway, I think I'm going to crack on with this without the camera away because I need to get it done. But I just test the YouTube live. So if you're watching this afterwards, I don't even know whether you can watch it afterwards. I'm going to check the quality of it because I'm not entirely sure it's great just because the internet's a bit here. So yeah, I'm wondering if it might be better to actually record it when you're doing stuff like this, to record it. But yes, I don't even know. I'll see what happens. I go now. Bye bye.